This is Josiah Plays Dungeons and Dragons, The Sands of Slavery, Calimshan campaign for 4th edition. I've got 3 players with me tonight. Cyto Optionum, Noxmoo, and Sungnif. They will be playing Valannar, Ramak, and Zax. And I will be playing the other 3 characters because nobody else showed up. Which I guess we can live with. So... I was just recapping for Sun since he wasn't here last week. So you and Kyria, your character and Kyria came here looking for some kind of clue as to what happened to Kyria's mother, the Queen, who disappeared mysteriously. Because the last thing that was found when she disappeared was a desert rose on her desk, which only grows here in Calimshan. So that's why you're here. You've been looking around for a while and you haven't found anything. And you've been doing various side jobs to keep yourselves, you know, alive, to keep the money flowing in, to fund your search and your living expenses and so forth. And after having done so for a while, your names were overheard by a rich and powerful merchant named Ala'amar in the city of Almriven. And he gathered all of you in together, the 2 of you plus the other 4, and he hired you all to go 3 days walk to the north to the small city of Mintar, an evil city run by the Church of Bane, who is the god of tyranny. And he wants you to go to this city and look for an item called the Battle Cloak of Vykaina, which is a great artifact from the distant past, which belonged to a very prestigious and powerful noble house, and he believes that he's descended from that house, and if he can get this cloak, it will prove it. And if it does, then he can use the connections and prestige and political power of being House Asada to gather an army and go take back the cities of Memnon and Kalimport, which have been overrun by Genasi, which are kind of like half human, half genies, basically. And all the humans have been enslaved in most of Calimshan, except for this one city that you're in. So they want to go take those cities back and free all the slaves.
Okay,
yes,
I didn't even realize there were humans here.
Yeah, well, it's mostly a human nation, at least it used to be. Now it's ruled by the genies and the Genasi who serve them. Except for this one city, which is the last holdout of humans. So you all accepted the deal to do this job for this guy in the hopes that not only would you get paid, you would also have him as an ally after that, and you could use his connections and his power to help you find what you're looking for. So all of you set off on the journey, the 3-day walk to Mintar. If I'm a bugbear, why would I give a fuck about enslaved humans? Well, your character was enslaved himself, so he's got a strong disliking of slavery as a general rule. And even if he himself doesn't really give that much of a fuck about it, he works for Kyria and she wants to do it, so he's pretty much just in with her.
Okay.
Plus you are getting paid pretty well, so, you know, you get the gold out of it at least, if nothing else.
Okay.
So the 6 of you set forth. You went toward Mintar. On your way, you were attacked by a bunch of sand drakes and even a wormling brown dragon.
What?
Yeah, and you fought it off. You killed it. You killed the drakes. There were a couple of other drakes that were there that were dead. A couple of other dragons, I mean. Wormling dragons. And then a huge brown dragon came flying in and looked very angry until another dragon, a brass dragon this time, which is a metallic dragon, and those are generally considered to be good, flew in and attacked the large one up above your heads, and they started battling, so you guys got out of there while you had a chance. And now you come to the city of Mintar. It's a pretty dingy looking city. Do you have any other questions at this point?
No, it's fine.
I mean, I'll explain mechanical stuff to you as it comes up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is the first adventure, and everybody's just learning the system, so I'm providing more information than I typically would, explaining things and about what's going on and whatever, so that everyone can...
I'm sorry, I was gonna try to read the backstory while you were talking, but I can't do both at the same time.
That's understandable. I couldn't do both at the same time either. So, it's been about 3 days. You arrive in Mintar, which is a dingy, run-down-looking city. It's poverty-ridden. It's ruled through fear by the Church of Bane, and everything about the place, it just gives off an aura of oppression and despair and misery. So it's not a good place. The gates of Mintar loom before you. They're dark and decorated with gargoyles, spikes, and the remains of those executed are dangling from the walls as dire warnings to potential lawbreakers. Bored-looking soldiers check everybody entering the city, noting down names, reasons for visiting, searching for contraband, and collecting entrance fees. So, you guys were told by Amara, your patron, that this city was extremely dangerous, that it was ruled by the Church of Bane, and they had a lot of guards and a lot of spies, and that they took people and tortured them, and this city was well known for its torture. Anybody who opposed them or who they didn't like. So you were told that your goal was to do this as stealthily and subtly as possible so that you don't alert them to your presence and what you're actually trying to do here. Because if they find out, you'll be in big trouble. So what do you guys want to do as far as approaching the gates? What's your plan?
Well, do we have supplies? What do we have with us? Like, could we disguise ourselves as a caravan, for example?
You have enough supplies to get you there and back for 6 people, but not like so much that it would seem you had stuff to sell or whatever. But you could potentially pretend to be merchants or pretend to be whatever else. It looks like getting in, other than through the gates, is pretty nigh impossible. The city has tall walls that look hard to climb, and there are guard towers on a very regular basis with guards who actually look pretty vigilant watching the walls. So, getting in that way looks very unlikely.
Okay, I say we go back and then we find 10,000 tons of TNT and then we dig a tunnel. No, I'm sorry.
Nice.
No, but like the point is to get into the town without being discovered that we're us, right? So like any kind of disguise is fine, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want them to know what your goal is here. Because Amar is trying to keep all this on the down low, because he doesn't want his enemies finding out that he's trying to do this either.
Does anybody actually know that we're working for him?
Not yet.
Well, why don't we just walk in then?
I am not sorry for being a meanie, Saito. So not sorry. I'm not saying it.
What do you mean a meanie? He said you were like a wet dick in his ear while he was playing Scrabble with his grandmother. I mean, that's a compliment, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you could take it as a compliment, certainly. So you guys are just approaching the gates? Is that what you're all doing?
Do these guards give out visas or passes or anything like that that you need to have on you at all times in the city?
You
Yes,
get
it
like
looks
this UV stamp on your wrist, and then I'm sorry.
It looks like after people walk up and pay their entrance fee, they are given a token that they need to have with them as proof that they've been lawfully allowed into the city.
Is there much traffic out of the city?
Yeah, there's some traffic out of the city. You know, there's merchants and mercenaries and the like.
Okay, so I have an idea. I mean, we're not good guys, are we? I mean, I have a little bit of trouble understanding my character, I'm sorry. Because I didn't have time to read the background.
Well, your character is unaligned, which means you're not good and you're not evil. But
okay, so I'm practical. Correct?
Kyria, who you work for, is lawful good. And
Oh.
some of the other party members are also good.
Okay, then never mind.
Well, you can always suggest something. I think I know what you're thinking. And I don't think the others are going to want to do it, but...
Well, I was just gonna suggest that we took some merchants and took them apart, because, I mean, if we can take on brown dragons, then we are fucking tough as nails. So, like, we could just eat some merchants and then take their tokens, and that'd be it.
Okay, under protest, I'm going to speak. Under heavy protest. Anyways,
Protest noted.
that doesn't seem like a good idea. Why don't we just, say that we're mercenaries looking for work or something like that and go into the city, rather than, try murdering people. Why not start smaller there in terms of the whole thing, and just, before working our way up to murdering and possibly getting the entire town to try and murder us in turn.
Kyria says, "Shame on you, Sir Zax. By the way, your character is a knight. Your Bugbear is a knight of the Elven Kingdom, because you were made a knight by the princess.
Okay.
First Bugbear knight ever. Sir Zax.
Okay.
I know you don't really want to do something so sinister. We won't be doing that."
Right, sorry.
Howling Sky says, "I like Zax's idea. We should just do that. It'll be easier."
No, we're not doing that.
Ashani says, "Ramak and I will certainly not be participating in any such plan. I believe we can simply talk our way through the gates by telling them that we are mercenaries. We look the part, yes, we are armed."
This is true, sister, and we have just gone through a scrape of our own.
Well, you lead the way then. Or possibly should I? I'm a knight, I guess.
"I think it would be best if Valannar does the talking at first. I will back him up if need be. But he is a Genasi, and Genasi are greatly respected in Calimshan."
Alright, so you said. I mean, yeah.
Wait, is Mintarn still in Calimshan?
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
it might be like in a disputed sort of gray area between Calimshan and Tether. The border probably shifts a lot. But yeah, it's at this point it's considered to still be part of Calimshan.
All right. So, does anyone else have any other things, or should we approach the gate?
I say we just walk in.
I'd say we're good to go.
Who are the guards at the gate? I mean, anything about them that I notice?
They look bored.
Battery and
Like they're just going through the routine, but they do look vigilant as well. They don't look like idiots, and they don't look like they don't care about their job. They just look like they're bored enough that they're not like really questioning anybody very hard. They don't seem to really care that much who gets in, as long as they have a halfway plausible story and they pay the fee. They're just letting people in. You haven't actually seen them turn anyone away yet. Oh, I need to tell you guys something. It's kind of important. So this is another Rules of D&D 4e explanation. This is a thing called a skill challenge. You are now starting a thing called a skill challenge, and this is a long and extended skill challenge which will be going on for a long time. But this is where it starts. A skill challenge is a cool thing that's in 4th edition that's not in the other editions, unfortunately. I thought it was neat. What it is it's a type of encounter that's not a combat encounter. Now, sometimes you could include a combat within a skill challenge, or you could have a combat that happens as a result of a skill challenge. But the skill challenge itself is actually an encounter worth experience points that has rules that govern it. It's a structured set of skill checks over time to accomplish a large goal. So right now, your goal in this skill challenge is to learn the identity of the last known owner of the battle cloak, where he lives, get there without alerting him or her or the authorities in general to your search for the cloak. So the main thrust of what you're trying to do is avoid being discovered. So every time you fail at one of the skill checks for the skill challenge, you will get yourself closer to being discovered. And you have to succeed at a certain number of these checks before you get 3 failures. You have to get 8 successes before 3 failures is how this particular skill challenge works, in order to have victory in the skill challenge. Now, if you lose the skill challenge, the game is not over. You just face consequences for failing the skill challenge, which are they're going to make things harder for you later. Significantly harder, so you don't want to fail. And this is going to involve a lot of different skills over the course of different scenes. I will tell you explicitly when a skill check that you're about to make counts for the skill challenge. Beyond that, you can make other skill checks along the way of different things that you want to check, that won't count for the skill challenge itself, but may actually be able to help you with the skill challenge itself. They may give you bonuses to one of the main roles. They may give you information that you can use. So feel free to use your skills however you want. And I'll let you know explicitly when one of the skill checks is the main ones for the skill challenge.
okay.
So you walk up to the guards. What do you guys? Who starts? Who's in front? Who starts talking first?
Well, Ashani recommended I talk first, right?
Yeah, that was her idea, that was probably best.
God,
So,
we seek
so
entrance to the city. Yes, what is it?
oh, I was gonna say, you have to wait a little while for a few people ahead of you in line to go through, but then it comes up to your turn, and all 4 of the guards at the gate are looking at you expectantly. They're eyeing your weapons, they're examining to see what kind of gear you guys have. You know, they're checking you out. Let's see, does anyone have an exposed holy symbol of a good god? I don't think so. Kyria has an exposed holy symbol of the Red Knight, but the Red Knight is neutral. Ashani and
find my
Ramak
gear?
both have holy symbols. What?
Nothing.
Oh. Ashani and Ramak have holy symbols of the Path of Light, which is actually a religion alien to this world, so nobody would know. I mean, these guards certainly fucking wouldn't know what it is. So they might examine the holy symbols with a frown of curiosity, but since it's not a known good god, they're not going to hassle you about it. But they're looking you over. What's your business in Mintar?
We are mercenaries seeking entrance to the city.
Mercenaries, huh? What's the name of your mercenary company?
We do not have a name. We are simply seeking. We met very recently and are currently seeking employment. Names will come later once we've established ourselves.
Oh, so you're new, huh? Well, I suppose there's always people that need fodder. I don't know. Now they're kind of walking around you, looking you over. You're gonna need to make a bluff check. Unless you defer it off to someone else.
Oh hell, I'm thinking Ashani should probably take a bluff check there because I only have a +2.
So how do you make that segue in character? Because right now they're talking to you.
Ashani, it appears that these guards are being somewhat hesitant to let us enter. Your thoughts?
Ashani steps forward. Now, the unfortunate thing here is that she looks the least like a mercenary. She has no visible weapons. Of course, there are, you know, like mages that are mercenaries, so it's not like she has to have a weapon, but she doesn't look a lot like a mercenary. She looks like a nun, basically, of some sense. I mean, like, she grew up in a monastery and she's a non-violent person is what she looks like. But she steps forward. Since you started the talking, Saito, go ahead and make a bluff check yourself to aid her bluff check. And this, if you fail, it won't count for the skill challenge. Alright, you actually succeeded in aiding her, so she gets a +2. So she steps forward and she says, "Gentlemen, what my friend here says is true. We are indeed mercenaries seeking work. We heard that the Church of Bane was a good employer, and so we would like to offer our services." And so she says it very convincingly. Let's see what her bluff check result is. Ashani, bluff, +10, plus your 2 that you gave her. Okay, what's the problem here? Oh, that's quite good. Alright, that was the first check for the skill challenge. So you guys now have 1 actual success.
Ooh, 7 more to go.
The guard says, "Oh, all right. You seem legit. You can go on in, but you still have to pay the required fee."
And what, pray tell, is the fee?
10 gold pieces each.
I
so-
have no gold pieces.
Well, you guys were given a sack of gold for the party for expenses. But,
I have 10 gold pieces.
But
Howling Sky growls, "That's robbery. 10 gold just to enter the city? This is how you treat the people that want to work for you?"
See, how many cheeseburgers is this? I mean, what's
It's a
the
lot.
relative value here?
Well, to
How
a
much?
normal commoner, 10 gold's a lot of money. If you think about it, like, I like to think of silver pieces as being like dollars, and copper pieces as being like dimes, and gold pieces as being like $10 bills. So for poor people, which at this point you guys are pretty poor, none of you have that much money. The $10 is actually, or 10 gold is a piece is pretty significant amount of money to have to pay out.
yeah, it would actually basically be our entire sum that we were given for expenses here. So, maybe Ashani can see if she can bargain and get a lower price.
Ashani says, "As we told you, we are just starting out as mercenaries. We would very much like to offer our services to the Church of Bane, however. I know that the Church always is in need of more skilled fighters. Perhaps if we demonstrate our skills to you, you would let us in for, say, half price?" So we'll make a diplomacy check. Does anybody want to say anything to back that up?
No, but I have a backup plan.
Backup plan: kill all these fuckers.
No, not at all. I was gonna say backup plan, use street. Oh my god, it's very loud, this pling pling pling. Is there a way to turn it down?
Yeah, some of the music seems a little louder than others. Which one am I even... Which one is even
Okay,
playing?
okay, no, fine, I sorted it.
You sorted it?
Yeah. Anyway, my plan was simply to suggest that maybe a gold piece or two would fall into their hands if they let us in for half price. I have streetwise fairly high.
I didn't quite catch what you said.
He wants to do streetwise to maybe bribe them slightly if they let us in cheaper. Alright.
Yeah.
Ashani's check is successful, so he's already thinking of lowering the price for you if you can show your skills. But if you want to jump in right now, what do you say to the guard exactly, son?
What the fuck does a bugbear say to a guard? Roar. Look, listen. If you let us in, maybe we can make this a business venture for the both of us. We find ourselves an employer, and you find yourself in a little gold. And like, I use my ridiculously high something or other stealth or thievery. I mean, to do some coin trick with the coins in his hand.
Alright, do the thievery check first.
Okay. I would, but I seem to have lost where you do dice rolls in Roll20. Oh no, there it is. How do I do this again? It's been years since I used Roll20.
Well, you can click on the little die icon over to the far left, and then, like, put in your bonus. What's your bonus to thievery? Like 10?
Yeah. I think, yeah, 10.
So you could go under advanced roll and put a 10 in the box after it says plus, and then hit roll. Or you could type it into chat /R. Oh, there you go. Alright,
And
you're...
that was a sucky roll.
It was not a good roll, but you're really good at thievery, so you do actually do a nice little trick with the coin in your hands that is impressive. So that's going to give you a +2 bonus on your streetwise roll.
Which was +6. So +8. Okay.
And before, well, you can do it, but also at the same time, Ashani leans in and says to the guards quietly, "Surely hard-working individuals such as yourselves deserve a little bonus now and then, yes?" Got a 17. And she gives you another +2 with that. So you've got a 19 there, which is good, because that's enough to hit the hard difficulty. So the guards look at each other. You look at you. He leans in close to you. "Oh, well, we don't officially take bribes, of course. That's against the law. But if, for example, you were to pay us half the fee, right, as a special incentive to gain talent for the Church of Bane, then, and you were to accidentally drop, say, another 2 coins each, each guard, for each one of us, as you pass through the gate, well then, that would probably work just fine."
Very nice. I give him a toothy smile.
Yeah, I guess we may as well go along with that, because although I probably would have been better, I think it would have been probably better to go with the Shawnee's original idea, but whatever. This works, I guess.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a backup idea, but suddenly it wasn't.
But actually, well, you could still jump in and try to talk to them about this displaying your skills thing, because you might be able to get this down lower still.
Okay. Is there anything I can do? If I were to do, say, a bunch of sword play, would that count as athletics?
I think in your case it would count as Arcana, because your swordplay is so linked to magic,
Okay, well then I basically... Are you certain that half is the best you can do? I mean, surely such skilled individuals as we, and I now pull out the sword and prepare to do something incredible, hopefully, that doesn't backfire terribly.
God, please don't shoot him full of arrows.
Yay.
17 is
Nice.
pretty good. Ashani will reach out telepathically, and you feel a calming presence come over your mind just before you begin your display. And it focuses and clarifies your thoughts. And so she's going to make an Arcana check as well to try to give you a bonus. She's pretty good at Arcana as well. Oh, good, yeah. So that gives you a +2 as well. So now you have a 19, which is what you needed to hit the hard DC. Keep this in mind, by the way. I'm trying to show you guys about aiding each other in skill rolls. This is a thing you're going to want to do as often as possible. When somebody's about to do a skill check, if you can think of any way your character could help them with it, that you can describe, you know, in game, and then make a complementary skill roll, it doesn't even have to be the exact same skill necessarily. So keep that in mind. Aiding each other in skill rolls is a very good thing to do. And so your display is quite masterful. All the guards are sort of nodding their heads, exchanging glances. One of them even gives you a little bit of applause. Hey, Jen, good to see you. How you doing, Jen? Glad you're here. How's your 30 pages of editing going? So, the guard says, all right. You folks have made your point. I get it. He leans in close. He says, now, I am authorized on occasion to allow certain people to enter the city without a fee if I deem them to be of a special importance to the overlords of the city or to the Church of Bane. You have shown me that you are capable individuals and you want to work for the church. Therefore, it would be against the church's interest for me to bar you passage, right? So let's say you don't pay any fees and you just drop 3 gold apiece for us hard-working guards, accidentally, of course. After seeing that coin trick, I believe you could do it quite subtly, right? And then we'll give you the token to get in, and everyone will be happy. How does that sound? So basically,
I look to my mistress for confirmation.
She nods. I mean, not everybody could hear that whispering. He's pretty much just talking to Valannar and Zax. They're the ones that are kind of right up next to him. And I guess Ashani's probably in on it as well. The others are all far enough back that they can't really hear this conversation.
Okay, so he just wants 3 gold? Or does he want 3 gold from each of us?
3 gold,
3 gold
per
for each
guard.
guard. So gold total.
So instead of paying 60 gold total, now you're paying 12 gold total. Which is a pretty good discount.
Okay.
So you're going to need to make one more thievery check for me to subtly drop the coins in such a way that it's not obvious. And if anybody can think of a way to help him with that, go ahead.
I could go, that's indeed, I believe we have struck an accord. What say you, Zax? And I smack him on the back in just the way to sort of give him an excuse to jingle coins loose.
Alright. You're going to need to make a bluff check for that. Oh, natural 20.
Nice.
Very nice. So you do it flawlessly. Alright, that'll definitely give you a +2, son.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Ashani will use her telepathy to kind of distract the minds of the closest onlookers just slightly. So that they, aren't looking as closely. Mm-hmm. We'll make that an Arcana check for her as well. Alright, so you've got a +4 now, plus your normal bonus. Go for it. Holy shit! Yeah.
Damn.
No one knows that you dropped those coins.
Not even the guard knows.
Yeah, even the guards are gonna have to search around in the sand for a while to find them, because you sort of arrayed them so precisely from your hand. And you guys are good to go. They give you the token to get in. That you gotta keep this with you the whole time you're in the city. You lose it, you'd probably be in big trouble.
Do we each get a token, or is it just one for the entire party?
You each get a token.
Oh my god. I win my way, I win my way, I win my way, I win my way. I'm sorry, all this talk about tokens.
What? I don't get it. What's your reference?
The tokens?
Yeah.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle.
What does
the
that have to
lion
do with
sleeps
tokens?
tonight. They're the ones who made that song.
Oh, the name of the band was The Tokens?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh.
I did not know that. I never even
Well,
heard
now
of
you do.
a group called
Yeah,
The Tokens.
I was assuming that it had something to do with drug toking or something like that.
No.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Now we've
Well-
learned something new, right, Explode? Alright, so you each receive a token. He says, "Welcome to Mintar," and sort of, sweeps out with his hand, pointing in the direction of the open gates. Ashani says, "Thank you, gentlemen. You have been most helpful. You are serving your masters well." Kyria is just far too imperious to be bothered talking to such lowly people as these. Mintar and enjoy our shit churros. Yeah, there's no N, it's just Mintar. This is the Malice of Mintar, that's the name of the adventure. Alright, so
Fucking churros.
you guys are good to go into the city. You've gotten in very cheaply. You've succeeded at one of your checks for your skill challenge. And now you make it into the city. As you look around, at first glance, the city is a demoralized society, where buildings crumble and its people toil under a religious fundamentalists dedicated to Bane. But even on these mean streets, people talk and go about their daily necessities, clinging to survival. The hot, humid weather, the constant smell of the lake of steam nearby, and the ample mosquitoes do not help. The street behind the gates is cobbled and clean, with the houses looking sturdy and well maintained. The side streets are muddy and filled with potholes, and the houses look poor and crumbling. Most people pay you no obvious attention, but it's clear they're avoiding you and any soldier nearby. Fear and suspicion is almost palpable. A few beggars, all maimed ex-soldiers, clamor for your attention, asking for alms or offering their services as a guide.
Hi there, fine masters and ladies. I know everything about the city. If you could just see fit to give me a few coins, I could tell you everything.
Another one yells out, "He doesn't know nothing! I'm the one that knows stuff!" This one's like really drunk. He's like, "Hey, I could tell you anything. Anything you want to know." Then another one pipes up,
I couldn't tell you anything. I don't really know anything, but I still could use some coins.
Totally selling himself.
yeah, that one's a lot younger than the other two. He's like a teenager. So
Okay.
you've got
Okay, so-
beggars everywhere, and you're in the city. What do you guys want to do?
Well, we need to find out about that cloak, right?
Yeah, so I would suggest the beggars because they're probably the least likely to squeal on us to another group, and they're the ones who most likely are going to have some information. Who here would have the best ability at sussing out which one is the most trustworthy? Or at least would be the most likely to know of our
I have
target.
Streetwise 6.
Yeah, Streetwise would definitely be very valuable here, as well as Insight, which is Ashani, as well as... well, that's about it, really, as far as determining which ones. But Streetwise, now that you're actually in the city, and you've got all these people around and all these options, Streetwise could definitely help you narrow down on where the best sources of information might be. The way this is going to work is... well, you're going to have to make a Streetwise check in a little bit, that counts for the skill challenge, but you don't have to make that one yet. You can do some stuff between now and then which will modify your chances. So you can make a streetwise check right now just to get a head start on who to talk to, and it won't count against you if you fail.
Okay, so could maybe Ashani could roll insight and Zax could roll streetwise and see if they can figure out. I mean, I guess Ashani would probably be using both mental insight and also just her perception, and Zax, I don't know what the hell a bugbear, how a bugbear works on the street. I don't know about bugbear thug life or anything like that.
Bugbear thug life. Well, she'll make an insight check to assist him. As she starts examining people and seeing, she's very highly trained in the art of reading people. Alright, she easily assists you with a streetwise check. She points out the ones that she thinks look the most likely to be useful. And you guys don't have to talk to beggars either. You can just go looking for any kind of person in the city that you want. But right now you've got beggars. So go ahead and do your streetwise, son.
I would, but my mouse is fucking up. Give me a moment.
Okay. Mouse problems.
Yeah, it's always something.
I don't suppose there's any way that a history check could help. Like maybe I recognize individuals, maybe they're wearing bits of armor from a battle or something like that I recognize.
Well, you are from Calimshan, so your history could be more targeted. I mean, you would know some things about Mintar, you know? So you could make a history check to sort of search your mind for whatever things you might happen to remember that you overheard or learned about this city and its people. And that could also assist him in his streetwise.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, that's my roll without modifiers.
Alright, so you got 2 plus 2s out of that because Saito was successful as well. So you ended up with a 20, which is very good. Alright, you realize you would have been spending a long time talking to a lot of useless people. And you avoid spending that time by kind of narrowing in as you examine the crowds and the people hanging out in the alleys and stuff. You ignore most of them clamoring for your attention, unless any of you want to pass out any coins or anything. Ashani
no.
probably would. How much gold does she have on her?
We're not good Captain Prague here, okay? We don't just go handing out gold everywhere.
Captain Prague! Oh my
Nice.
god! Can't believe you remember him. Ashani only has 1 gold on her. So maybe she wouldn't. She'd probably give her 1 gold to whoever looked the most piteous, like a child with, like, you know, broken legs or whatever that looks really. And what?
And get that child killed when it can't
Get that
defend
child
the gold
killed.
piece just got.
Does anybody say anything to her as you see her about to hand a coin to this kid?
Yeah, I put a hand on his shoulder and suggest that giving them money will just make them fight among themselves.
She nods. I did not think of that. Your words are wise, Zax. I'm sorry, little one. I cannot help you today. So she puts the coin away. So anyway, you cut through all the bullshit, and you find a guy who seems to be both trustworthy, discreet, and have some legitimate knowledge.
Right. Name's Jeffress here. You look like people who are in the market for some information.
Oh, he won't starve to death.
He's just lucky I didn't eat him.
So, is anybody talking to this guy? He's kind of a greasy-looking dude. He does look shifty as fuck, but he looks like the right kind of shifty. The kind who keeps his ears open and his mouth shut.
Well, yeah, sure. Let's talk to him.
Okay, I think that so streetwise is probably going to be the most useful here. Or would diplomacy work?
You could do either one. Or even bluff if you want to tell him some kind of fake story.
Okay, what are the highest bluffs, diplomacy and streetwise we have in the party? Because whichever one of those is highest, we should probably go with as the main.
What about perception? Like, could you use a perception skill to, for example, prepare a good lie for him or something? Or prepare a story he would...
Right, but that would be
sympathetic or something.
That would be assisting the main check. That's what I'm talking about. We should figure out what we want to do as our main check.
Yeah, I have 6 streetwise and fuck all.
I'm pretty sure Ashani has higher diplomacy than that. I don't know if anyone has any higher bluff than that.
Ashani is the best at bluff and diplomacy and insight.
Oh,
she is really designed to be the party face. It's unfortunate when there's not an actual player here to play her, because I don't want her to just dominate everything when I'm playing her.
Well, if Boss Pie maybe could, step up to the plate, but no, he's just gonna sit in the bleachers.
But she says to you, because you guys know she's already done this before, she starts talking to you in your mind with her telepathy, and she says, I think it would be best... I think it would be best if Zax does the talking to this individual, but I can read him and speak to you in your mind, and he will not hear, and I can give you tips and advice on perhaps tactics you should take in speaking with him.
Oh, I see. I forgot. That's right, because there probably is also certain checks, even if you might have a higher score in them, it might be that particular check is harder than another one. Okay, so...
Yeah, exactly. Streetwise is certainly easier than diplomacy in this case, but actually I think with the bonuses and the difference in bonuses that they have, it would still be better to do diplomacy, because she's got a plus 14 and he's only got a plus 6.
Oh, hell, then, yeah, have her do diplomacy, then.
Yeah.
But she still wants you to talk to him. Basically, your streetwise check is going to assist her diplomacy check, but she's not going to do the talking. You're going to be talking to the guy, and she's going to be talking in your head. That's why we can use her diplomacy skill instead of yours.
Can I also use history to sort of coach him with about various aspects of the city? Things to, various minutia, things that you might want to pepper into the conversation to make it seem more authentic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I use perception as well?
Yeah, you can also use perception. So, although somebody else might be better for perception, maybe Nox could get in on this, because his character's great at perception. And the cool thing is, with Ashani there, with her telepathy, for example, Nox could observe the situation. He could have important information. He could relay that to Ashani in his mind so that nobody overhears it, and then she could relay it to you. You know what I mean? So
that's very clever.
first, before you guys do any rolling, I mean, you can keep those rolls if you want, but before you guys do that, I need to know what you're actually going to say to him in character.
Well, I mean, as I said, I'm just going to sort of coach him on various mannerisms. Like, I mean, I don't know quite what I don't know what Mintar society is like.
Right,
Yeah,
but your character does know. With the 14 history check, you know enough about sort of the etiquette of the common people in this city, or just in Calimshan as a whole, you know what I mean? To be able to provide him with some helpful tips.
All right, but what I'm saying is I can't act those out because I don't know what the hell those tips would be.
Well, I don't know what they'd be either.
Okay, here's what you need to do. You need to... And also, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to find and make sure that you don't... Okay?
Yeah, totally.
Excellent.
I have to admit, I have completely lost track of what we were doing. I'm very, very sorry.
It's alright, son. You're talking to this guy, Jeffress, who is kind of a little bit of a...
Shady character, but yeah, but why the
character. What?
But why the fuck was I talking to him?
To try to find out where you can get information about this cloak. But again, you're trying to do it as subtly as possible.
Yeah. Okay, so... Well, how do I do this circumspectly? I have no idea. It would be so much better if Ashani did this.
Ashani says in your mind, just begin talking with him about local rumors. And then, once he has told you a couple of rumors, you can casually mention that you've heard the rumor of this great artifact being in this city and that it was lost.
Oh, so it's a great artifact. Is there any signs of this great artifact that I should be looking out for in its rumors?
Well, what you guys were told, okay, by... You guys were given a description of this cloak by Amara, your patron.
Yeah, obviously.
He told you that it's a voluminous cloak of emerald green silk trimmed with gold thread. It has 2 large disc clasps made of solid thick gold with a tiny emerald in the center of each, and the clasps are also engraved with the sword and shield seal of House Asada. So, you know what the cloak looks like. And you know the last known owner of the cloak was Lord Teldorn Darkhope, who is the head of this city. But that it allegedly went missing about 100 years ago.
But does it actually do anything?
Oh, yeah. If worn by a member of House Asada, it's got great powers. It is a legitimate artifact.
Okay, well, I guess that answers my question.
But Allah Amar didn't know what the powers actually are.
Yeah, I was about to say, I guess the answer was no. But, yeah, okay, so I shoot the shit with this guy about current events and rumors in the city and try to look for legitimate work for us as well.
Alright.
Do I need to roll anything for that?
I don't know if I can help you with work. I mean, obviously, the nobles, rich merchants, the Church of Bain are always hiring mercenaries for various things, but I get the
feeling like a secret handshake or something I can do? Or symbol I can display or something else to indicate that I'm perhaps just as bent as he is?
Yeah, make a well, you made a streetwise check at the top there, right? Or was that your perception check?
That was my streetwise check.
All right, you do know some universal sort of signs and little code phrases that might indicate that you're on the thievery side of the law. So you can do some of that, which he seems to notice and nods at you slightly.
Okay, cool. Well, let's not get sidetracked too much about this.
What brings you specifically to Mentar? Why'd you come here? This place is a shithole.
Well, we came here looking for work originally, but perhaps we were looking for some opportunity for some work.
Work? Really? What kind of work?
Well, I don't know how open to be with this character. I don't know.
Keep in mind, your character's not very smart.
My character's not very smart?
He's an experienced bounty hunter who's been traveling and hunting down people for a long time, so he has some knowledge of dealing with people and this kind of thing, but he's not really brilliant.
Yeah, but he also got 6 streetwise and 10 stealing, so, I mean, plus he's an adult, so, I mean, he must be smart enough not to tell the first person he meets that he's looking to steal an artifact.
Ashani says in your head, now that you have got the introduction with him out of the way, he would probably be comfortable speaking with any of your allies if you asked him to.
Oh, yeah, so I suggest that why don't we sit down at a table and have a beer and get to know each other?
Ah, you're gonna buy me a drink?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, there could be an open air small cafe nearby. There'd be that kind of thing all over the place. I mean, some of them are really run down and crappy. Some of them are nicer.
I choose a really rundown and crappy one.
Okay.
Because I don't want to pay for beer.
I hear ya. This isn't a beggar, by the way. This isn't a beggar.
I'm aware.
That
I'm
you're talking
aware.
to. This is a shady character.
Yeah, I know. He's like a contact to the underworld right now.
Yeah.
Did we meet him out on the street originally?
Yeah, we picked him out of the
on
crowd.
The street, hanging out, leaning against a wall, just watching everybody. No, he's not carrying a table around. So, you guys adjourn to a little place with a table that's kind of crappy.
Mm-hmm.
He says, yeah, buy me a beer and we'll talk.
I buy him a beer and I buy a beer for our table, right? A pitcher or whatever the fuck.
Alright, yeah, a beer is only 2 copper pieces here, so you can buy a round pretty cheap.
Okay,
Basically,
I can't seem to edit this character sheet.
Yeah, that's the problem. Those are PDFs, so they're not really editable.
Okay. Well, I assume that you keep track of our money then.
You guys can pay this out of the expenses thing you have. I think Saito's the one carrying that.
Well, we gave Zax and Ashani the 30 of the gold as well, remember?
Oh.
Though I do remember the amount we have, specifically 88 now. The problem is that it's going to be kind of weird to keep track of it since it's only a few coppers, so I guess maybe just one of you can break down one of your own gold pieces, so that way I can just keep track of the main party gold.
Wait, do we have this in actual gold pieces? Because isn't that, like, really... Wouldn't that be really circumspect? I mean, like, wouldn't that
Well,
course of
no, it just means the amount we have. It doesn't necessarily mean the denomination. For example, I imagine that Zach's whatever gold you're carrying around is probably more a hodgepodge of the various sub-currencies rather than a single actual gold piece.
yeah, coppers and jewels and
Right. So you can probably pay out some coppers from that, and so you'll have,
lizard
assuming
tails
that's
and
2 coppers for each player, then we're talking about 99 silver and 88 copper left that you have. Or not 99, 9 silver and
99.
2, or wait, goddamn, I'm forgetting how many players we have. 6 players, so yeah, so then you would actually have 8 silver and 8 copper. There we go, that's the amount.
Yeah, there you go. Just
Okay,
jot
I
it
didn't
down
follow
or
that at
whatever.
all, but
It's alright.
I mean, this is minimal money. Is it important?
Yeah, no, it's not important. You don't have to really worry about a few coppers.
Okay.
So, you guys sit down, and Ashani says, "We have heard exciting rumors about all sorts of mystical and magical things in Mintar." And he says, yeah, we got all kinds of rumors about things. Looking for anything in particular? He says, well, we are not looking for anything. I'm only making curious conversation. I had heard there was something that once belonged to Lord Darkhope, but he has lost it. We thought perhaps if we could find it for him, he would be most grateful. Oh, yeah. He kind of looks around at the rest of you like he's expecting somebody to kind of back up what she's saying.
Okay, I not reassuringly. I don't know. I don't have any relevant skill here.
Howling Sky says, oh yeah, we're all about helping out Lord Darkhope. That's why we get up in the morning. He looks at you, Saito, at Valannar, because for whatever reason, it looks like he perceives Valannar as the leader of the group. Probably just because you're a Genasi. So he assumes that in Calimshan, a group with
Probably
the Genasi
thinks my
and...
voice is okay. He doesn't say hurtful things about voices.
It wasn't hurtful, it was just colorful. Think of it as colorful.
Yeah, so basically, indeed. So, we would be most interested in any such artifacts that we may return to their rightful owners.
Is your
And of course,
microphone
you have
flying
to be-
around the room?
Oh, God. Yes, son?
Is your microphone flying around the room?
Why do you ask?
Because it sounds like this.
It seems like your mic is kind of cutting out a little bit. I mean, not a lot.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Okay, is this better?
know.
Yeah. Yeah, Nox is here, but he hasn't had a whole lot to say or do just yet this time.
Okay, so, anyways, yeah, basically I suggest that yes, we would be interested in restoring, finding such artifacts and returning them for profit.
Well, that does sound like a noble endeavor. You gotta be careful though. No matter what your reasons are, if you're searching for something like that here, you are very likely to run afoul of the High Inquisitor. He wouldn't be too happy about people doing something like that in his city without his permission.
So how do we get his permission?
Ashani says, who is this High Inquisitor that you speak of? We have not heard of him. Ah, he's the worst. His name is Fazan Gahul. He's got spies everywhere. Everywhere. He looks around. His voice is kind of lower as he says this. The spies of Fazan Gahul. They're feared for their ability to smoke out potential rebels. And for their utter ruthlessness. Fazan himself, everyone's afraid of him. He's the most feared. Because not only is he the right hand of Lord Darkhope, ruler of the city, but he's also a sadistic psychopath who loves his job. People caught by him and his inquisitors are brought to the House of Pain, a large fortified prison complex separate from the Temple of Bane and the Palace of Darkhope. It's well guarded and nobody ever escapes from it. I've heard stories about cloaks. Perhaps like this green cloak that used to be Lord Darkhope's, but I don't really know any details about anything like that. I do know somebody, though. Wu-Tang Clan coming at us? Nice. I do know somebody who knows a lot more about this kind of thing. I can't, just give away information like that, you know. Anybody say anything at that point?
I would not think of it giving it away so much as making an investment, such that we may have further business in the future. And once we have gotten our just reward, perhaps that money will find its way back to you.
Really? Make a bluff check. Because I assume you don't actually intend to give this person money later.
Oh, no, not at all. I was hoping that Ashani would help back me up, but apparently Ashani's just going to sit in the back farting around.
She looks like she's thinking of something to say herself. Nox could summon his cow spirit right above this guy's head.
I was considering that and thought that would be not a good thing to do.
Tell us or the cow spirit will get you.
Nice.
Alright, he says, I don't think you're gonna help me out. At this point, Kyria pipes in. It looks like Ashani's about to speak, but then Kyria stands up to her full height. And she says, listen to me, you little man. You will tell us what you know, or else Fazan Gahul will find out what you were just saying about him. Strangely enough, the teenage princess elf girl has amazing intimidation skill. So she gets up and she gets all fucking princessy on him. His face pales. He looks around like who might have overheard that. He says, all right. Just shh. Calm down. There's no need to talk to the Inquisitors about anything. His voice suddenly just changed from what it was before for some reason. There's no need to talk to the Inquisitors about anything. Let me just give you a name, and then you can go about your business. Old Jep. He's a leather worker. He's got a shop. 3 streets over that way and 2 streets down, he points in the proper direction. Old Jep keeps his finger to the pulse of the rumors of this city more than anybody else I know. No, actually you haven't. None of these skill rolls you've made counted for the streetwise check, but they're all contributing to the check that you're going to make. Ashani says, thank you very much for telling us this. You have been most helpful. oh, we're not gonna finish anything by 9, but we can stop playing.
At 9? When is that? Is that in half an hour or what?
An hour and a half. Or 9:30
okay.
since we didn't really start until a little late. But we can stop directly at 9 if anybody really needs to. Or we can go till 9:30.
I'm completely indifferent. I mean, it's the middle of the night for me, so...
Nice. Yeah, I stay up in the middle of the night a lot too. Yeah, it really depends on Nox more than anyone else. We'll stop when Nox needs to stop. That's basically how that goes.
I
Good
can
night, Jen.
probably push on.
Because sometimes you stay that long when you're watching my stream, so
True.
I don't know. But yeah, we'll play it by ear. We'll play it by cow ear. And remember, you never met me, he says. Kyria says, oh,
Don't
I'm
worry.
sure we'll have forgotten all about you momentarily. Anybody else want to say anything else to this guy, or are you gonna leave him alone?
Let's leave him alone, yeah?
And I should hope that you would afford us the same courtesy of forgetting that we crossed paths.
I've never seen you before in my life.
Well, then it appears goodbye, stranger. It was very pleasant never having met you.
Yeah. Pleasure was all mine. Howling Sky's got a pissed off look on her face. She says, the city stinks. The people in it stink. The sooner we're out of here, the better. I hate this place.
I must agree. I'm finding this a rather unfortunate set of surroundings.
Alright. You guys go look for this old Jep guy at the leather shop.
Yeah, why not?
Wait, the leather shop?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what he told you.
I totally missed hearing that part. Nox, how are you doing, bud? How are you holding on?
Well, it depends if we see cowhides or not.
Well, this is
Probably not that kind of leather.
This is an evil town, so they might be doing some dark shit here.
The darkest of shit. Canning cowhides.
Speaking of
It'd be great
which,
if you
in
just
the
go
process of
berserk.
producing tanned leather, one of the key ingredients actually was something called pure, which was basically shit and piss.
Fun.
Nice.
So that place will smell wonderful.
Oh yeah, well I know tanneries smell terrible. This isn't a tannery. It's just the shop of a leather worker. So he's not tanning his own hides or anything there. He's just taking leather that he's purchased from merchants and making stuff out of it. But you guys go, you go through the crowded alleys of the city. More beggars reaching out their hands, their shaky, broken hands. The human misery in the air is almost thick enough to cut with a knife. And the smells are terrible. You arrive at the small, ramshackle leather shop of an old man whose name has been told to you as Old Jep. You see him sitting there as you walk into the place. You see him sitting there behind a bench, cutting some leather. He looks up. Who are you? Have you come to buy some leather goods? I have some for sale.
Who takes the lead here?
Whoever wants to. I'm trying not to have the NPCs talk every time. Eldred
Okay.
Jepmoa.
It's just that also, I mean, the NPCs that unfortunately are the ones, or at least the members of the party that we don't play, are the ones who tend to have the better skills.
Yeah, I have noticed.
Don't worry, I'll be getting some good players in here soon that'll play those characters well.
Okay, well, I get him talking about leather armor and stuff, and how you can muffle it, and for stealth reasons, and get him at his ease.
Okay. Is anyone going to assist him in this in some way?
Wait, I can't. Well, actually, no. Calimshan does have a pretty significant tanning industry, so I imagine that my knowledge of history could again be useful here. Basically, talking about past techniques and the like that have been used for tanning leather and the like.
Awesome.
Sure, make a history check. Ashani will once more contribute by just occasionally saying a complimentary phrase to try to kind of make him feel better and feel more comfortable with you, so she'll assist you as well.
Can I use my stealth in this?
Maybe. Let me think about that for 1 second. Okay, so this is the streetwise check that matters. This is the one.
Okay.
So, based on everything you guys have done so far, you've done pretty good about being subtle. You avoided talking to a whole bunch of people. You went straight to a guy that had something useful to say, and you bought him beers and stuff, so he's more inclined to not say anything about you. With the intimidation check that Kyria did, with all the work that you did, Zax, I'm going to give you guys a +6 to this check based on everything that you've been doing up to this point, plus the +2 and +2 from the checks that were just made by Ashani and Valannar. So you're actually at a +10 plus what your normal bonus. And this one counts.
So is it streetwise?
Yeah.
All right, Zax, you're up.
Yeah, so you said I have plus how much?
+10 on top of your normal bonus.
So basically, +16 is the bonus now.
Yeah.
Alright. It would have been difficult for you to fail that. You only needed a 19. I think it's a 19. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me check the notes here. Oh, it's a 20 that you needed. So, you got it though. So that's another success for you guys on the skill challenge. That was the longest one. Like the one that involved the most stuff leading up to it. So they won't all... Every success isn't going to take that long to get.
Mm-hmm.
And he says,
All right. Yes, well, I can see that you are knowledgeable people, polite, with interests similar to my own. I feel pretty comfortable telling you some stories. That is what I do when I'm not working leather. I tell stories. Just stay a while and listen.
So he rambles on with several stories that are irrelevant to what you're looking for a while, and you guys have to just listen patiently.
Oh, I'm sure Valannar, though, because of his love of history, is just sitting there just enraptured, while I imagine that Howling Sky is the exact opposite, just almost trying to bite her own leg off to escape.
Yeah, Howling Sky is looking around constantly, occasionally sighing heavily, fingering her spear, you know, playing with her wolf, and not happy. Ramak, how's Ramak feeling
As long as
about
he's
this?
not playing with his spear and fingering a wolf. I'm sorry. I find myself extremely funny.
I see what you mean.
Ramak is listening along with the rest of the party, while possibly entertaining random notions of animating the leather with the cow spirit, but refrains.
That'd be awesome.
He has a feeling that that would really not go too well.
By the way, here is the new art for the cow spirit.
Nice. Nice, I like that.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty cool. So I have a token made for the with that art for battle, you know. And
Nice.
he finally gets around to the point. And he says, you know, that Fazon Gahul said to have a green cloak. I don't know if it's the green cloak, but apparently he hates when it gets dirty. He takes special care of it. Make sure nothing gets on it or it doesn't get damaged. So, I don't know why he cares so much about the cloak, but he does. Let me tell you another story about a green cloak. About 20 years ago, a green cloak was stolen from Lord Darkhope by the tailor, a seer. The tailor was arrested and executed for the crime. The green cloak was given to Fazan Gahul as a reward for the thief's capture. Taylor's wife, Lysel, though a broken woman, is still alive. Her daughter Mia, pretty little thing, takes care of her. She's a good daughter. Lysel, I'm sure she saw the cloak up close. She might be able to confirm for you if the cloak you're looking for is the one that she saw. And there's one more person I could tell you about. His name's Farah. He's the fishmonger. He's apparently one of the few people who was personally interrogated by Fazan, and he survived. He was released. A broken man, but certainly observed the cloak from nearby enough to have seen any details. It's not Lysol. It's Lysol. It's different. It's a different spelling. I would suggest, if you're thinking about investigating High Inquisitor Fazan, which is a foolish notion, and I would try to talk you out of it, but you look resolute. You should find out as much information about him and confirm that that cloak is really the one you're looking for before you go stirring up that particular hornet's nest. I'm afraid the next thing I'm going to hear about you is that you were captured and taken to the House of Pain and tortured to death. So, good luck with that. Anybody say anything?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the stories, my friend. They were most interesting, and I shall delight in recounting them once again. I hope we have the chance to cross paths once more.
Thank you, young man. And all of you. Good luck. Be careful. You're pulling at strings that you have no idea what they connect to. Ashani says, "Thank you very much, kind sir. You have been most helpful. May the blessings of the light be upon you."
Shit, I'm really sorry. I need to go.
Okay. That's fine, son. Thanks for
Okay.
coming by.
Yeah, thanks for playing with me. Yeah, I'll be back.
Alright, see you, son.
Bye.
We'll see you next time. Well, at this point,
And-
we're down to 2 players.
And then there were 2.
Do you guys want to keep going or stop here?
Nox, I'll defer to you.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I could really go either way. I'm starting to feel pretty tired, but so I'm not sure how my cleverness will continue. But
Yeah, this part of the adventure has a lot of talking to people. And I know that that's not really your thing, so it's probably kind of boring for you.
no, not really. It's interesting to listen, but it's yeah.
So I guess Josiah, I guess it's up to you. Do you want to keep going or not? Or would you rather we start when we have more players?
Well, we're moving into a new scene, or, new scenes here, and just having 2 players is not the best when there's a 6-person party.
True.
It's getting to the point where I'm just playing D&D with myself, which is a thing I've done. Wouldn't be out of character, but we should probably call it here. That way we're not keeping Nox up too late or anything.
Alright, Nox, you can go back to your paddock.
But
Nice.
before we go, let's talk about when we want to play next.
I thought we were going to do it on Sunday.
Yes, Sunday or Saturday would be fine for me, whichever is better for you guys. Oh shit, thanks for the host. Dennis. Malik70. If you're not following Malik70, get over there and give him a follow, because he's a great guy, great streamer. Thank you so much for hosting me for up to 14 viewers.
Hi, Dennis. It's yours.
You kind of came at a bad time, though, because we're really close to wrapping up the stream. I'm going to end my YouTube video right here. So, thank you for watching. This has been session 2 of Josiah Plays Dungeons & Dragons, The Sands of Slavery, Calimshan campaign for 4th edition. We'll be back with another session soon.